story be told as if it were the only one.
Single story told as if were only one.
Again, will a single story be told as if it were the only one?
Yeah, what I enjoyed most was it's probably the first English book that I actually liked and most people can, I guess, relate with. Key things I learnt were that different books have different structures and sort of every structure is different. Also, just you got to read a book differently depending on its structure. And what do I need to review? Everything. It's trials. Come on, it's everything. And
what did I enjoy about In the Skin of a Lion? I took particular interest in the elliptical structure of the book, but I don't really tend to engage in fiction books, so it became a bit of a grind towards the back end. And I became frustrated by the amount of self-interpretation that was required by the reader. I learned that many aspects of history, recorded history, focus on the wealthy and the powerful, rather than those who do the hard yards. And I also learned that not every novel story has to be written with a linear structure. They can be like, in the case of In the Skin of a Lion, Patrick weaves everyone's stories together in different orders, and they have a particular beginning and the same end, but they just take a while to get there. And what do I need to refine for the trials? I probably need to read the book more than a couple of times and annotate it along the way.
I think I enjoyed the book itself. Like, it got pretty interesting. I thought, I'm not really a big book reader, but then when I started to really read it and enjoy it, I didn't want to stop reading it, so that was good. I learned that when you analyse a text, it's really more how you perceive what you're reading rather than what the author really means, because as long as you can back it up, as long as you can show techniques, and then it doesn't really matter what you say. I think I need to review my understanding on other themes and probably characters as well. I thought that I did non-conformity for mine, and I just thought it wasn't deep enough. I think it'll be beneficial for me to explore characters and perspectives a bit more. It'll give me a deeper understanding of the text.
I didn't really enjoy the book that much, but I enjoyed learning new types of language and techniques. Things that I learned as well include how you can deeply analyse a text and its stories told from more than one side, like mostly told from winners usually. Third one. What I need to do to refine the view before trials. I need to be able to adapt my response to the question, as I feel that in the assessment, this is where I would have lost marks and made my response weaker. And as well as include other people's perspectives in it, quotes from the book, and maybe include other characters as well.
What I enjoyed about In the Skin of the Lion was the way how Ondaatje characterizes the characters and situations through metaphors and imagery, through the polysemic ideals, like the multiple meanings of metaphors and vignettes also broadens my understanding of the text and the way workers do not get the same recognition people of the upper class receives. The key thing I learned about this text was the way how Ondaatje uses this text to challenge the traditional narrative structure and praises the workers' contribution in the construction city of Toronto in the 1930s. What I need to refine and review before the trials is to expand on the key theme of power and also expand it more into more than one perspective. Like, since I did the assessment, which I focused on the key theme of power, and how I focused on one character, I need to expand it into different perspectives. So, yeah.
One of the main things I enjoyed about In the Skin of a Lion was the polysemic features of the book and how everything had multiple meanings. I found Ondaatje's 360-degree approach of the characters pretty interesting because it allowed me to kind of have a more creative image of the characters. What are the key things I've learned? I pretty much learned how deep novels can be. I never really knew how many meanings they could have. I also learned heaps of new techniques such as nomenclature, metafiction, bricolage, verbal cinema, and more. Before the trials, I probably need to refine. Well, for the assessment, I only really just focused on Alice and one theme. So, if I was going to get a better mark, I'd probably have to elaborate or choose another theme, and then maybe analyse more characters. And also, if I did an essay, I'd have to include more scenes in it. Yeah.
I enjoyed the depth of the text, how a story truly embodies life and the complexity of life. Things I learnt, that all isn't what it seems. And a novel can have a deeper meaning that what you can interpret, you can have different interpretations. What do I need to refine before the trial? Refine my notes, understanding of other characters, explore more concepts and perspectives.
I couldn't really say that I enjoyed In the Skin of a Lion particularly much, but it does very effectively describe, it has very effective analogies and uses themes very well to get its point across. And it does work very hard, harder than a lot of text, to elicit emotion, and it does work. It is a good literature. What I learned, a few new techniques: pathetic fallacy, bricolage, and probably the biggest thing is that history is subjective. History all depends on who you are, whether you're the rich white man or whether you're a migrant worker. And what I need to refine and review before the trials, I need to practice writing properly structured paragraphs, review the notes that I've written and the notes that Mr. McLaughlin's given us, read over all the texts again before we do the actual trials, and in doing so, reading all of the texts, not just In the Skin of a Lion, and in doing so, try to get a better understanding of the texts, and deeper understanding.
The one thing I enjoyed about In the Skin of a Lion was the indefinite story structure. That was pretty interesting. So, about how the plot wasn't just singular; it was quite fragmented. Things that I learned was through Patrick's elliptical mind frame. That life shouldn't be perceived through one camera lens, and it's more than just reading words on a page. It's about reading about how you perceive life, and a few things that I need to refine before the trials is my essay structure and technical analysis, because they're both pretty important. And also writing 800 to 850 words within 40 minutes is pretty tough. So using time effectively is also something that I should improve on.
Okay, guys, never again will a single story be told as if it were the only one. Hey? What did I enjoy? I enjoyed not too much, actually. I didn't really enjoy the book. This migrant stuff's getting a bit repetitive. But, what's wrong? Oh. I don't enjoy it. Things I learnt was the postmodern writing techniques. I thought that was pretty interesting. The social messages within the text, and the experience that people face when they're finding their identity. What do I need to refine? Probably key quotes from the novel, my understanding of the concepts as well, and other key characters.
What did I enjoy about this text? I enjoyed that it was a different style of text. It was different to the usual text you study in English, and it was more enjoyable, I found. Key things I've learned is that there's more to words than you expect, and if you read through a second time, you sort of gain a deeper meaning. And what I really need to review for the trial is my key techniques and my key moments and scenes.
I enjoyed the module because we were able to create our own idea instead of being given an idea and having to work around it. And I wanted to analyse images, which will benefit me in the long run when it comes to my trial examinations and higher school certificate. I think in refining, I still need to refine my ability to remember essays word for word, as learning the structure of the essay can result in a very vague argument in relation to the idea that you've designed. And yeah.
I enjoyed looking deeper into the book and developing my vocabulary. I learnt that even writers challenge the conventions they're in, and that the realisation that history is always written by the victors. I need to continue developing my vocabulary and my essay